Have you ever wondered if the quiet hallways where there is no touch are just a stop or a significant transformation? Welcome back to our channel, where we analyze relationships' complexities from the perspective of personal development and the timeless principles of Stoic philosophy. Today, we delve into a topic that has garnered significant interest: the no-contact rule. We're examining the emotional and psychological journey, concentrating on the 9 stages a woman goes through during this time of silence, rather than just discussing any part of it. More intriguingly, we'll talk about how males might adopt Stoic ideas to use this period not just as a countdown, but as a chance for significant personal progress. Understanding these stages can be a game-changer, whether you're looking to rekindle an old connection, choosing to step back from a relationship for a while, or navigating the turbulent waters of a breakup. It offers a roadmap through what can often feel like an emotional maze, providing clarity and peace of mind just when you need it. Let's dive into these insights. Keep in mind that every step offers important lessons and chances for development. Thus, making no contact is a transforming journey rather than just a tactic. So buckle up and let's embark on this enlightening exploration together. And if you're finding our content helpful and want to continue your journey of relationship mastery with us, please consider giving us a like, subscribing to our channel, and hitting the notification bell. This way, you won't miss out on any of our empowering discussions designed to help you cultivate resilience and wisdom in your personal life. Let's dive into the heart of today's topic and uncover the hidden growth opportunities that await during the no-contact stage. 1. Initial shock and denial. Imagine the moment you step away from someone you've been close to for so long. It's like pulling the plug on something familiar, something that gave you warmth. For a woman, that first stage of no contact feels like an emotional earthquake. It shakes her to the core, leaving her in shock. She's used to your presence, your voice, and your messages, your energy. Now all of that is gone. She may experience a sense of disorientation, as if the ground has abruptly vanished from beneath her feet. Often, when confronted with unfamiliar situations, her mind tends to reject the reality. She reassures herself that this is merely a temporary phase, and that he will return. This won't last because in the midst of it all, she's trying to come to terms with the fact that, whether she's ready for it or not, things have changed. This is where the wisdom of Stoicism comes into play. As a man who adheres to this philosophy, you understand that you have no control over other people's emotions, including her shock and denial. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that we control our thoughts, not external circumstances. At this point, patience becomes your greatest asset. Realize this, and you will find strength in her reaction. Her reaction is an external event, part of the uncontrollable external world that Stoicism teaches us to accept. However, is your response? You may feel compelled to comfort her, to break the silence, just to ease the discomfort you sense she's going through. The Stoic ally in you understands that hurrying back would not resolve anything. Rather, it would only sabotage the healing and introspective process that is currently taking place for both of you. This time apart provides something priceless: the space to reflect without constant communication. There is room to breathe, think, and reevaluate. At first, this silence may seem unsettling, but within it, clarity emerges. The emotions she is going through, shock and denial, are part of her journey, just as your restraint and calmness are parts of yours. An example from daily life could be a moment when you've chosen to put your phone down, resisting the urge to check for a message that hasn't arrived. That stillness of waiting feels uncomfortable, yes. But just like in any practice of self-control, you realize that each time you resist the urge, you in this stage remind yourself that just because she is in shock or denial, It doesn't mean you need to jump in and fix things. It's not your responsibility to soothe her feelings at this moment. Your task is to maintain calm, stay grounded, and allow the process to unfold. Stoicism isn't about avoiding pain or difficult emotions. Rather, it's about acknowledging them without letting them dictate your actions. As time passes, you will both come to a more distinct understanding of stage 2, curiosity and introspection. After periods of silence that can last for days or even weeks, she begins to transition into a new emotional rhythm, the first sting of disorientation. Anger or even melancholy begins to take its place. It's normal for these questions to surface, especially when there's no communication, but curiosity starts to creep in, small but persistent. She starts to ask herself the questions she didn't have time or space for before, like, why isn't he reaching out? Is he doing okay without me? Has he moved on? Or is he thinking about me too? Consider what you're doing, who you're with, and whether the silence is intentional or simply due to pride or stubbornness. This inquisitiveness may cause her to consider the relationship itself, as well as your absence. She may recall the joyful and unhappy times that shaped your bond. This self-reflection phase, which follows introspection, is when she evaluates what went well and what didn't, and more significantly, how she felt during the relationship. However, it's important to remember that you should also be reflecting at the same time as she is. By doing the work yourself, rather than waiting for her to decide, this stage is beautiful. Stoicism views self-reflection as a crucial tool for personal growth. Your chance to look back with purpose rather than regret, as Stoics did. Begin by asking yourself some honest questions. These questions may cause difficult feelings, but that is the purpose of reflection. What part did I play in our conflicts? Did I effectively communicate my needs and boundaries? Was I truly present, or did I take things for granted? According to the Stoics, discomfort arises when we force ourselves to confront our reality without hesitation or fear. Consider this moment as a mirror as she reflects on her feelings. Similarly, you should be holding up a mirror to yourself. For instance, you might realize that in disagreements you had a tendency to shut down and leave her feeling unheard, or that you were too preoccupied with solving her problems rather than just listening to her. These realizations, though challenging, are the starting point for Stoic growth. The objective is to match your actions with your core values in order to act with integrity, honesty, and emotional clarity. Consider whether your behavior during this time of no communication was in line with your true desires as a partner and a person. However, keep in mind that this isn't about feeling negative about yourself or feeling sorry for yourself. Rather, it's about accepting responsibility and growing from the past in order to come out of the experience a stronger, more grounded version of yourself. The Stoics advised us to concentrate on our mental faculties that we can control, our deeds and our responses. You may be curious about her thoughts, or you may want to put an end to the uncertainty, but this is where Stoicism calls for patience. Resist the urge to act impulsively and give her the space to fully express herself. You can't control her thoughts or emotions, but you can control how you show up for yourself during this time. Let's be real. Take some time to reflect on your own, just as you are doing for yourself. This time apart will benefit both of you as you rush to fill the stillness we frequently experience. Deny ourselves the opportunity to gain a greater grasp of stillness epiclimus. One of the great Stoic philosophers taught that we must first control our own emotions and reactions to challenges. No contact offers that exact challenge. Instead, it pushes you to remain calm, centered, and reflective rather than reactive. You may not realize it now, but this is where real growth occurs. Whether or not the relationship rekindles, this stage gives you a chance to assess your emotional needs, your values, and your expectations going forward. This is not just a period of no contact. It's a chance for transformation. Both of you will emerge from this phase transformed, and that's where the true potential for a deeper connection or newfound peace lies. Please pause and consider how you feel about this phase of curiosity and self-reflection from her and from your own perspective. What insights have you gained about your role, your actions, and the relationship itself? Please feel free to type or leave comments with your ideas. I welcome this period of development and clarity. This is your opportunity to step into a new level of self-awareness, so use this time wisely and with purpose. Now let's continue stage 3 of realization of loss. As the days or weeks go by, she will start to feel the full weight of your absence, not just of your physical presence, but of your energy, your support, and your steady presence in her life. What she once took for granted, those little moments of reassurance, your words of comfort, the way you were always, is now a glaring void. The weight of your absence really starts to get to her, as she starts to realize that this is something she has to live with and isn't simply a passing phase. The room you used to occupy, and it's not only about the talks or the time spent together. It's also about the familiarity, comfort, and emotional connection that she used to have, but which she can no longer reach right away. It's not due to the struggles she's facing, but rather to the way you, as a Stoic man, manage this stage. This realization of loss frequently evokes remorse and a sense of possibilities. It's at this point that she starts to comprehend the memories she shared with you and, more crucially, the things she no longer holds for you. Stoicism teaches us to accept the transience of life and realize that nothing in this world, not relationships, feelings, or situations, is guaranteed to last forever. This is an uncomfortable truth, but accepting it fully brings with it a profound sense of peace. This realization becomes stronger in the context of this no-contact phase. The conclusion of a relationship, or even its brief suspension, serves as yet another reminder that nothing in life is permanent. This knowledge enables you to step back from the necessity for her to acknowledge your worth or return to you at this point, even though she may be struggling with her own feelings and reflections. Don't wait for her to realize it or change her mind. Instead, focus on becoming the man of virtue Stoicism inspires you to be. Your value is not contingent on external validation. Your worth doesn't rise or fall based on whether she recognizes what she's lost. Your value comes from within, how you live, how you act, how you stand by your principles, even in times of uncertainty. Think of it this way. Life, much like relationships, is like the shifting tide of the ocean. Some days the waters are calm, other days turbulent, but regardless of what happens, the ocean remains constant in its purpose. You too should remain constant, unshaken by the external circumstances around you. Whether or not she realizes the depth of what she's lost is not something you can control, and Stoicism teaches you to accept that instead you control how you respond, how you continue to build yourself up, and how you maintain your sense of self-worth. During this stage, it's natural to wonder what will happen next. Will she reach out? Will the space between you shrink, or will it grow even wider? The truth is that it's not for you to predict or control. What you control is how you handle this moment of uncertainty. As a Stoic guy, you accept the transience of the circumstances and let go of the need for a particular result. Instead, you concentrate on your personal development and the creation of a life that is driven by integrity and self-respect. Think about a tree. Even though she may be reflecting on her losses, you remain true to who you are, and the realization she may be experiencing doesn't alter your path. You are committed to leading a life consistent with your moral principles and becoming a man of virtue, regardless of whether others notice. She may be reflecting and regretting, but you see it as a reminder that true strength comes from within. By adopting a Stoic mindset, you free yourself from the need for her approval and instead turn your attention inward. You are not waiting for her to acknowledge your value, you already know it. The decisions you make, the values you uphold, and the virtues you ultimately aspire to represent continue to shape your life. She understands that loss is unique to her. Being a Stoic man means living in accordance with your purpose, learning from the experience, and realizing that everything, love, grief, and all, is a part of life's ebb and flow. Stage 4. Emotional roller coaster. Let her reflection be hers, and let your route be one of steadfast strength, integrity, and calm. She may be experiencing a range of emotions at this point. She might feel a strong urge to reach out, thinking that a single message could make things better, but then, almost as quickly, she pulls back, telling herself that she's better off without you. It's a confusing cycle, an emotional roller coaster that she can't quite control as she processes the space between you two. She may experience moments of overwhelming anger, frustration, or even sadness, questioning the reasons behind the events that transpired. This stage is crucial because it's not just about her feelings, it's also about how you, as a Stoic guy, handle your own. This is where your values really show through. The Stoics held that, although emotions are normal, they should never be the motivation for our behavior. In other words, accepting your feelings, understanding their origin, and controlling your reaction are more important than denying how you are feeling. Your strength lies in your ability to bounce back from setbacks emotionally. Let's use an example where she's having a bad day, is furious, and is sending hints on social media in the hopes that you will notice and respond. You might experience a wave of emotion, be confused or hurt, or even feel tempted to respond and defend yourself. But in this situation, you need to remain stoic and resist the urge to respond. Irresponsibly, you take a deep breath, dissociate yourself from the need for hasty decisions, and remind yourself that her emotions are a natural part of her process and are not something you can control or influence. Marcus Aurelius famously stated, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength, which is precisely what you are called to do. Instead of controlling her emotions, you can control how you react to them. You stay cool, collected, and grounded, refusing to let her lows and highs dictate your peace. This is not just a break in communication. It's a test of your emotional fortitude. Are you able to remain steady when things seem uncertain, and can you keep your cool when she's experiencing emotional turbulence? In the end, what stands out during this period of no contact is your calm presence and ability to stay true to your principles. It's time to pause and reflect on how you manage your emotions when faced with uncertainty. Are you able to maintain your composure, or do you find yourself tempted to react impulsively? The answer lies in your ability to embody the Stoic philosophy of being unwavering in the face of uncertainty. By displaying this level of self-control, you're not just becoming more resilient for yourself, but you're also displaying the very qualities that will make you more attractive and respected in the long run. Think for a moment about how the Stoic principles can help you be emotionally resilient during this difficult time. Then, feel free to share your thoughts on how you handle emotionally challenging situations by leaving a comment below. I choose to stay grounded. Let's see where this reflection takes you. Stage 5: Appreciation and acknowledgement, as the no-contact period stretches on something subtle yet powerful, begins to happen in her mind. At first, there was a whirlwind of emotions, anger, confusion, perhaps even relief. But now, in the quiet space that time and distance have created, she starts to reflect more deeply, and it's in this stillness that appreciation often begins to surface. She starts to remember the small things, the things that once seemed ordinary but now stand out in sharp clarity: your reliability, the way you always showed up when it mattered, your support, the way you listened when she needed to vent or offered encouragement when she was down, the care you poured into the relationship in ways that were perhaps unnoticed at the time. These moments now come back to her, and with them a sense of gratitude for what you brought into her life. This is a stage where she begins to acknowledge the value of your presence, realizing that your role in her life wasn't as easily replaceable as it might have seemed. It's crucial that you adopt a similar attitude of thankfulness during this phase of appreciation, where a Stoic man truly shines. You understand that genuine appreciation is not contingent on her return. Regardless of the result, it's about appreciating the lessons and personal development you've gotten from the experience. Consider what you've learned throughout this time without communication. Maybe it's time to reflect on your own needs and desires in a relationship, or perhaps you've grown in ways you hadn't expected. Stoicism teaches us that every experience, even the painful ones, has something to offer us. Just like she's beginning to appreciate what you brought to the relationship, you can start appreciating what this separation has brought to you. For example, instead of dwelling on the absence, focus on what you've gained. Maybe it's a stronger sense of independence, or perhaps a deeper understanding of what truly matters to you. Use this time to reflect on your values, your goals, and the kind of man you want to be in this way. You're both in a stage of acknowledgement. She's beginning to recognize what she had with you, while you're learning to appreciate the lessons this period is teaching you. And here's the beauty of it: whether she returns or not, you're better for having gone through this. You're evolving, growing, and becoming a more resilient version of yourself. This is where Stoicism really comes into play. A Stoic man knows that he can't control whether she comes back or not, but he can control his response to the situation. He can choose to focus on gratitude, on growth, and on becoming a better person through it all. And that's the real victory. Stage 6. Fear of losing you forever. At this point, after a protracted period of no contact, a profound fear begins to take root in her mind. The silence grows heavier, the distance becomes more significant, and she may start to question everything. Whether she realizes it or not, this experience makes you stronger, wiser, and more self-aware. Realizing that every step of this journey, even the hardest parts, has contributed to your personal growth is something no one can take away from you. And as a Stoic, you recognize that's the most important thing of all. This fear can intensify as she comes to terms with the possibility that you won't come back. At this point, she might start to think carefully about whether she should act now or wait until it's too late. This fear is strong. It's about you becoming a memory of someone she cared about but is losing. As this fear takes hold, she might start to imagine the worst-case scenario, that you've moved on without her and the life she imagined. The weight of these thoughts may even drive her to reach out, but a man who embraces Stoic values can provide wisdom in this situation. It's critical to realize that fear, hers or yours, should never be the motivation behind your behavior. One of the greatest philosophers of Stoicism, Marcus Aurelius, once observed that we suffer more in our imaginations than in reality. This statement is particularly pertinent at this point. Our own imaginations can amplify our anxiety of losing someone. We imagine scenarios. She might be in a state of panic, questioning whether she has lost you forever, but as a Stoic, your focus is on maintaining your composure. You have come thus far without allowing anxiety to control your actions. She might be focusing on the future and losing sight of the present. The Stoic path helps you to let go of attachment to results. What matters is your personal growth, not whether she returns. Throughout this period, you have worked on yourself, putting your self-worth and personal growth first. This has improved your resilience and your capacity to remain composed in the face of uncertainty. This fear she is feeling is a reflection of the gap between her past decisions and the reality of who you have become. If she's meant to return, she will, and if not, you'll be ready to move forward with courage and clarity, regardless of her fears. Rest assured that your peace comes from within, not from others or events. This is the essence of Stoicism, mastering oneself rather than letting others master you. Conditions. Fear may overwhelm her, but you will persist on your journey of inner peace and self-respect. Should she choose to go back, she will encounter a man who remains centered, calm, and unaffected by fear. If she chooses not to, nothing will change about your journey. You will remain steadfastly grounded in the wisdom of Stoicism. If you've reached this point, it signifies your deep commitment to comprehending the intricacies of this phase and the significance of Stoicism in preserving your mental tranquility at this moment. I would adore to know what you think. Have you been in a similar circumstance before? Leave a comment on how you handled it or how Stoic ideals could help in uncertain times. Your wisdom may be useful to someone traveling a similar path. Let's continue with the discussion. At stage 7, the contemplation of reconnection occurs when a woman finds herself staring at her phone after a period of silence. The silence that once gave her strength now seems like a void, tempting her to fill it with thoughts. At this point, she begins to seriously consider reaching out. Now that she's thinking about it, the possibility of reconnection is more than just a passing thought. She considers what she might have lost and what she really wants going forward. But here's the important part. She can't decide whether to take the first step or to wait for you to break the silence. This internal conflict may be quite intense. It's a struggle between her pride and her need for connection, as well as your anxiety about how to respond. At this point, it's crucial that you reflect on yourself. Even if she does reach out, take a minute to stop and ask yourself some crucial questions. Is getting back in touch the best course of action for you? What are your actual goals? Are you thinking about this because you truly believe that you can mend a nice, healthy relationship? Or are you, like her, feeling the weight of silence and contemplating a reunion out of loneliness or the desire for approval? In Marcus Aurelius's Meditations, he urges us to ask ourselves, what is genuinely within our power? Does reconnecting come from calm strength and confidence, or desperation, or insecurity? Stoicism encourages us to face these decisions with reason and clarity. As the Stoics would advise, be brutally honest with yourself. Let's examine one example. Her simple "hey" after weeks of no communication may make you want to reply right away out of fear for what might happen if you don't. But taking a Stoic stance would encourage you to take a moment to think things through. Why do you think that is? Is it a hasty decision to end the quiet, or do you think that starting up again will benefit you both in the long run? If you don't move forward confidently on your own path, knowing you're making the right choice for your well-being, remember to reconnect out of strength, not fear of being alone or silence. Since, in the words of Epicus, freedom is the only worthy goal in life, your choice in either scenario should be a reflection of your values and inner serenity rather than a response to outside pressure. Stoicism can assist you in navigating the intricacies of relationships and averting conflict. Regardless of the outcome, ensure your decision is based on the strength of character and clarity of mind that only genuine self-reflection can bring. She's either ready to reach out or waiting for you to initiate contact at this point. She has experienced bewilderment, hurt, and possibly even rage during this time of no communication. But after putting everything into perspective, she finds herself at a crossroads. Should I approach him now, or should I wait for him to initiate contact? Despite the challenge, she is ready. Here, on the flip side, the question isn't simply about her sentiments, it's about your chances of getting back together or leaving for good. Stoicism can be your compass at this crucial juncture. As a Stoic, you understand that reason should always guide your decisions, not your feelings or your fear of losing her. Let me give you an example. A Stoic man steps back from his emotions and looks at the situation with clarity. If reaching out feels right, you should have considered it, not to avoid discomfort. On the other hand, if she reaches out first, it's straightforward to feel a rush of emotions. You may feel an intense urge to text her because you've been missing her a lot lately, or you're afraid that the longer you stay silent, the more she's slipping away. But before you do, consider whether you're acting out of fear or clarity. Relief, exhilaration, or even perplexity are all possible, but once more, the Stoic way calls for you to stop and assess the circumstances. Ask yourself calmly if getting back in touch would result in a better, stronger connection this time around, or if it will only cause you to relive an unhealthy cycle from the past. Stoicism encourages us to concentrate on the aspects of our lives that we can control, such as our thoughts, actions, and reactions. We have no control over her choices or her emotions, but we do have power over how we behave at this point in time, whether we approach her or reply in a way that is deliberate and considerate. When that time comes, whether it be her reaching out or you choosing to make the first move, a Stoic guy will not act hastily because he knows that emotions are ephemeral and reason should always guide his decisions. Keep in mind that your behavior should reflect your principles, not your anxieties. During these times of peace, not turmoil, genuine connections form, so make wise choices. In Stage 9, reconnection and positive progress are crucial. Reconnecting after a time apart marks the beginning of a new chapter, but it requires careful and intentional handling. If she's reaching out, she's probably thought about you and realized your value. However, the process of rebuilding should never be hurried. It needs to be based on mutual respect and understanding, because this is the moment when the work you've done on yourself really matters. A Stoic man knows that throughout the no-contact phase, you concentrate on personal development. A partnership is only as strong as the people in it. Taking charge of your emotions, establishing clear boundaries, and boosting your self-esteem right now offers the potential to reconnection appears. When she reaches out, it's probably because she's come to appreciate your presence in her life. She may have a renewed understanding of your value and be approaching you with a deeper appreciation. However, now is not the moment to relax. There is a chance for the relationship to evolve into something healthier, but only if you both put in the work. Rebuilding a connection after a period without communication requires consideration, tolerance, and intentional communication. If you both choose to get back in touch, it's important to go into this period consciously and with clear expectations. How can you approach this situation with a calm and collected demeanor? First and foremost, maintain your composure. Don't let the anticipation of re-establishing contact cloud your judgment. It's easy to revert to old habits, but a Stoic man maintains composure and self-awareness. Think back on the lessons you learned during the time you weren't in contact. What realizations have you made about your personality and your triggers for emotions? How can you use these insights to forge on with creating a stronger, more resilient relationship? Take your time throughout this phase. Sincere dialogue is crucial. Discuss the reasons behind the absence of communication. Identify the issues that require resolution, and explore ways to avoid repeating the same mistakes. Here, the Stoic concept of reasoned decision-making plays a crucial role. If she's willing to get back in touch and work through these issues with you, that's a positive sign that you two can grow even closer. However, keep in mind that getting back in touch doesn't mean going back to how things were. Rather, it means building a new foundation based on mutual respect, emotional strength, and a deeper understanding of each other's needs. If you discover that the same issues continue or she hasn't truly recognized your worth, it's crucial to reevaluate the value of this relationship. A Stoic man loves his mental health and knows that it isn't the appropriate decision to continue in a relationship that no longer fulfills his higher purpose. Reconnection is not a sign of regression. Rather, it is an opportunity to create something better. And sometimes, creating something better entails knowing when to move forward, either together or apart. Epicus once wisely observed that what matters is not what happens to you, but how you respond to it. Whether or not the reconnection improves the relationship, your inner peace and personal development should always come first. That's it, folks. This article discusses the 9 phases a woman goes through when there is no touch, and how men can navigate this emotionally charged time with the fortitude and discernment of a Stoic. It's not just a strategy to make her miss you, but it also presents a significant opportunity for emotional clarity and personal growth. This time is about finding your inner peace, growing more grounded, and becoming a stronger version of yourself. Whether she decides to re-enter your life or not, the most significant outcome is the transformation you undergo into a wise, emotionally resilient, and profoundly self-aware man. If you found this video helpful, please take a moment to hit the like button. This will help the channel reach more people who could find this message helpful. Remember to subscribe in order to receive updates on upcoming videos that go even further into the benefits of Stoicism in contemporary relationships. You can also leave comments below with your opinions. I would be interested in knowing about your personal experiences going without communication and how Stoic principles helped you get through those difficult times. Before you go, I strongly advise you to watch the videos on your screen, as they provide additional insights into applying Stoicism to your relationships and personal development. Remain composed, strong, and aware that your inner calm is your greatest strength.